Hey everybody, Scott from therecordingsolution.com. Today I wanted to show you an awesome trick that I learned from Steven Slate from Slate Digital. If you don't know who that is, they make awesome plugins from virtual console collections, like to make it your audio run through a virtual simulation of these big audio like API boards or Neve boards to get that analog feel. They make tape machines, reverbs, EQs, plugins, whatever. And you can get like their everything bundle for about $14 to $24 a month, and you have access to all their amazing plugins. And I was watching a tutorial that Steven Slate was doing mixing drums, and how he made this huge drum room sound out of drums that were recorded in a living room. And for most of us home studio owners, that's pretty much what we're doing, is recording drums in whatever rooms we have, whether it be garages or bedrooms or living rooms. And even in my home studio, I can capture really good drum sounds, but I'm kind of limited to the room mics. I can do overhead mics and then maybe a small quote unquote room mic, but I mean it's just not the big room sounds that you get in these major studios, and there's just no way around it. But the good thing with for home studio owners and technology is we can kind of create these faux spaces, or digitally create with plugins these spaces that sound bigger. And a lot of times they don't sound as natural as you would like them, but plugins are getting a lot better. And so I'm going to show you how to create and make some space and take your drums from a home recording, living room recording, bedroom recording, and make it sound like it was recorded in a big studio. I'm not going to go through each individual track like snare, kick. I'm just going to show you how to create that faux space, that drum space. So here's the drum mix without the extra drum space that you see I created here. And I created it with a lot of Slate Digital plugins. But then I was like, well, what if you guys don't have the Slate Digital bundle? Well, then I kind of recreated another drum space using stock plugins from Pro Tools, and I'll show you that. And I got it pretty close to the Slate Digital plugins. So here's the drum mix without that faux space, and then I'm going to bring it in, and then you're going to hear what it's doing, and then I'll show you what we did. So here we go. So it just creates this large sense of space and a room. Now you see all I have is a kick, a snare, a little extra track that I add some extra beef to the kick and snare. It's like a parallel processing. Overheads, and it does say close room and far room, but I know for a fact that these drums were recorded in a living room, and they just moved some mics back and call them close room or far room, but they're still not that large studio room that you're talking about. So here's the far room sound originally recorded. Here's the close room mics. And then the overheads. Kick. Here's the snare. But here's that drum room space we created. That sounds like a big, large, warm room. So let's take all these plugins off. So the first thing I did was it's a virtual mix rack. You can download this for free, and they'll give you a couple of free plugins like this Revival, and just doing that is awesome. So if you don't even have any of these plugins, or you're not paying the monthly subscription, go download the virtual mix rack from Slate Digital, And just to get this free Revival plugin, and add some harmonic distortions from the high and low end, and that can do a lot of cool things to your tracks. But if you do have these plugins, I just added some EQ, little top end shelf, about 4 dB. This is a real aggressive EQ, so little moves is a lot. Added a little bit of 3K. Didn't do anything there, and we're boosting a whole bunch on the low end at like 80 hertz right there. And then we stacked an EQ. This is more of a silky EQ, like a less aggressive than this FGN. And we just add a little bit more top end at 12K, and then at 4K we add a little more boost, and then brought a little bit of 400, just a little weird stuff going on there. Boosted some more at the low end at 100, and that's a lot of boosting, but listen to this. So here's bypassed. So all that is I made an aux track, auxiliary track, and I sent the overheads, this room mic, and this room mic. Now you could just do the overheads if you want, if that's all you had. If it was in a living room, and maybe if you had one more or two room mics there, send the overheads and any room mics you have into this auxiliary. So I just created an auxiliary channel, set the input to an open channels, and I named it drum space, and then I sent this top one right here full volume to this auxiliary channel, and I made it pre-fader. So meaning that it means it comes before this channel, so these EQs up here are not affecting the signal I'm sending to this, because I'm going to process it separately here. So back to this. So here's all the EQ. Here's with the EQ off that we did, and then I'm going to turn it on. So we're just trying to exaggerate, make it sound like a good drum sound within the room sounds. So get some low end punch, get some crack of the snare and the sizzle of the hi-hat and all that stuff. So just 2 EQs there. And then this is Verb Suite Classics. Now these are just emulations of very famous reverbs. And again, I'll show you how to do it with stock plugins. So if you don't have this, don't worry. But we set it to a Bercasti M7. FG is just Fabrice Gabriel, who does all the algorithms for this. He's a genius plugin developer, and is behind Slate Digital's products. Just a room, medium room, decays 560 milliseconds. We add a little bit of chorus, a little bit of width, a little bit of attack, and a little bit of more EQ on there. And so I'm going to have it off, and then I'll turn it on. You'll see what that's doing. So all that's doing is making it sound like it's in that room, in that space. That's cool. So then we take that reverb to another level, and we compress it. Now this is a very good bus compressor for that Slate Digital makes, FG Gray, I believe. And we have the fastest release, medium attack, 6-to-1 ratio, and then I brought the threshold down to where we're getting about like 5, maybe at the most 5 to 6 dB of gain reduction. And then we high pass filter all the lows out up to 150, because we don't want it reacting to the low end. We just want it compressing it and making it even a little bit bigger. So here we go. Here's with it off, and I'll turn it on. See how it just brings it to life, makes it just sound huge, man. It's awesome. So when you get to the chorus, I think we're already on the chorus, you get a lot of hi-hat cymbal kind of stuff going on. So we brought in this Deesser. This is an amazing Deesser that Slate Digital makes. and I just set it to the preset overhead auto high compression. And so I'm gonna click that on, and you'll hear what it's doing. So it kind of just mildly tames the hi-hat and cymbal kind of stuff you're hearing. So when you blend it in, you're not just going crazy. So again, let's solo all these and then bring it in. So it just adds that space, guys. It just sounds amazing. All right, so let me show you what I did with the stock plugins. So again, we had the 2 EQs like this. Well, then I just stacked some EQs, got the stock EQ from Pro Tools, added a lot of some of the same EQ moves, a little high end, a little mid range boost, a good low end boost, a little low mid cut. Second EQ. This is a channel strip, but I just activated the EQ. Same kind of moves as I did on the Slate Digital products. Boosted some more low end, a little bit of highs, boost here, and they're exaggerated. And there's a lot of boosting going on in these moves, but we're just trying to make this space sound like a nice drum space. And then I added the reverb, EQs, reverb, then compression. And let's see what that sounds like. And then a deesser. Stock deessers. I did my best with this deesser. It's kind of hard to make it sound just like this deesser over here, but I just kind of found where the hi-hat and cymbal frequencies were at, and then I did my best to tame them. So we have the 2 EQs, the reverb, the compressor, and the deesser, just like that. So let's listen to that. So here's the stock plugin room sound. And here's the Slate Digitals. Stock. Not identical, but I think it sounds pretty darn good. And bring it in with the rest of the tracks. And all I did is create another auxiliary channel and then run 3 more sends to that input, drum space 2 that I set up, pre-fader, and did the processing just like we did here. And that's how you create a cool fake or faux space or artificial space that sounds real and blend it in with your living room or your garage drum recordings and make it sound like it was done in a pretty big studio, and just add that space to your home recordings. And you could play around more with the reverb and try to get it to sound more like the reverb we had over here. I just pulled up the first reverb I could and mess around with the controls. But you could pull up any stock reverb you can and just mess around until you get that sound that you like. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Scott from recordingsolution.com. Don't forget to subscribe. Grab the free ebook. You'll be put on the email list as well, where you get free training like this delivered to you weekly, and you'll get some cool stuff that you won't get anywhere else right to your inbox. Thanks for watching. Scott from recordingsolution.com. See you on the other side.